Good afternoon, everybody here. I think I can start the presentation. Here is the presentation about the Tencent TStack. In fact, this is the OpenStack. It's a product from Tencent based on OpenStack. I will present here. First, I will present just the product itself, its operation mode, and at the end, I just try to present to you some future features that we may integrate in the future release. Okay, the presentation will be in 4 parts. First, I will just present to you the overview of the Tencent Cloud TStack. And secondly, I present the delivery method of TStack. So for our future clients, or our clients, how we can deliver this service. Then, and one of the very important things is the operational experience that we can share with you, because TStack, the Tencent version of OpenStack, was firstly used internally in Tencent since 2012, and we have massive experience of how we use OpenStack and how we make OpenStack more stable than the community version. And then at the end, some success story about the Tencent TStack, our clients, how they use it, and how Tencent makes OpenStack different from other OpenStack versions. Firstly, I just try to present you the main components or main modules that we developed based on OpenStack. Principally, we have 3 components, modules that construct or build the Tencent TStack product. And we call it user service platform, firstly. Secondly is the cloud monitoring system platform. And at the end is the cloud operation platform. And especially for the third one, the cloud operation platform is the dedicated platform that we designed for the data center administration. And I will detail each part later. And if we talk about a TStack, OpenStack product like TStack, usually we should figure out some principal features or something which is different from the existing product. The first, I think, is the open and the compatible architecture. Maybe you will ask the question, why we use OpenStack as the basic cloud infrastructure for as our cloud product. I started working on cloud since 2010. At that moment, OpenStack was not so popular as now. And I worked a lot on the standardization of cloud computing, how to guarantee at the same time the interoperability and portability. And we defined some kinds of standards for cloud in order to improve this. And it didn't work. The reason is that cloud makes the service so different and complicated than the previous case. We cannot simply just define an interface between one service and another service in order to ensure this interoperability and the portability. For this reason, what we need is a common open reference architecture that we can use. And OpenStack plays very well this role. For this reason, we put this one as the first requirement, meaning features called open and compatibility, to ensure that from any user, they can easily migrate their application from one OpenStack platform to another. Second reason is flexible deployment and delivery mode. Okay, it's a lightweight. I've seen a lot of different kinds of cloud products. Some product can be easily deployed within maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. And other products, we need at least 1 week to deploy this product. And this makes so different. We call it the flexible deployment and delivery method. The second feature, very important for TStack, we call it entire product hierarchy. Means that we need an ecosystem, not just the IaaS level or IaaS layer. What we need is a full portfolio that we can provide to our clients. Not only IaaS, but also PaaS services, the connections we can provide to our clients. And this makes so different. TStack is a product provided by Tencent, one of the biggest internet companies in the world. We provide also the PaaS services. We provide the big data analyze modules. We can provide the AI modules. And also, we can provide you the connection to the WeChat application, which cannot be done by other companies, of course. And later, a very important thing is the massive operational excellence or massive operational experience. One of the biggest private OpenStack platform is Tencent's internal IT system. We have more than 12,000 virtual machines running on one OpenStack platform since 2012. This means that we have resolved a lot of problems for the stabilities, with a lot of problems for the security, etc. And in the product of TStack, we share all this experience with our clients to ensure that their data center can run as stable as our data centers in Tencent. At the end is a hybrid cloud architecture. So Tencent Cloud provides not only private cloud, but also the public cloud. And in China, in the market of China, Tencent public cloud is one of the biggest public cloud. And the Tencent private cloud is also one of the biggest in the private cloud market. In this case, for the hybrid cloud, we have an end-to-end solution for the hybrid cloud. Means that user can easily use their resource in their private cloud and migrate their resource to the public cloud. We provide you some kinds of gateway connections to ensure this migration. Okay, just here, just a high-level features about Tencent TStack. So some history about how Tencent TStack evolved. Firstly, in 2012, as I said, we started to install and deploy OpenStack internally in our data center. Later, we construct our cloud infrastructure. In 2012, it's just some kind of POC, proof of concept, that we developed internally. Later, we start our first OpenStack platform for the internal use. And later, the first product in 2015, and with more than a scope of 10,000 virtual machines in 2016. And from 2017, we started to sell this product to our clients. And now we have more than, I cannot get the exact numbers of clients because every day it evolves. And I think we have more than 100 big company or the government clients now with TStack. Also the awards, as you may know, during the last summit, Tencent TStack was gains the Super User Award for, and this year, Tencent is one of the 8 platinum members of OpenStack Foundations. And also we get several countrywide award in China. We have the certification of ISO 20001, and we also have some certifications from the Chinese authorization. In terms of the deployment, the data center, here is a picture of all the data centers that use Tencent TStack. So around China, we have 4 regional data centers. We call it regional data centers. One data center in Shenzhen, one data center in China, in Shanghai, one data center in Tianjin, and another in Chengdu. And in each regional data centers, we have some kinds of DCs, and with 7 DCs, with more than, and for each DC, we have 2 clusters. So we have about 14 clusters, all OpenStack clusters within all these data centers. And the scope of virtual machines, the number of virtual machines that are running on these data centers is more than 12,000 virtual machines. Another very important number is the user that we can support in parallel. As we use it internally, we have many employees. So now for this cloud, we can support more than 40,000 users. And within this OpenStack platform, the TStack, it deploys also a lot of applications. It is capable to support a lot of applications, the PaaS services or the network connections or some application services, etc. So here you can see that upon this platform, we can have applications which are running to, or the PaaS services which are running upon the TStack product. Okay, so I go to the next slide. Here is a big picture about all the functionalities provided by the TStack product. So firstly, we divide it into several parts. We call it a basic IaaS part. We call it the IaaS part. We call it the PS and SaaS part. And also we have some platform, as I explained to you, the three main platforms here. This is the user service platform. This is the cloud monitoring platform. And this is the cloud operation platform. OK, I just started by layer. In the hardware, so it's a standard hardware configuration, like x86 servers, like the basic storage servers, and the network switch, different kinds of switch, SDN-based or non-SDN-based switches. And then we have a virtualization layers with different kinds of different categories of virtualization technologies. Upon this, we have this OpenStack here. So you may ask the question, what's the difference between the standard OpenStack and our OpenStack? So based on the massive operation experience, we try to improve each modules of OpenStack. So to make the whole platform as stable as possible. This is the main reason. And to make this platform as performant to support more users of virtual machine as possible. So for these reasons, for each modules, we have some improvement, like, for example, the improvement of the stabilities for the Nova, improvement for the RabbitMQ, the messaging systems. And later, upon this, here we have a large part of the PS and the SA service. So this makes so different from other OpenStack platform. So Tencent, when you use TStack, we can bring you a large set of PaaS and SAS services to our clients. So for example, here you can have some standard database services, the big data services, the machine learning services, and also some kinds of communication, instant communication services, which cannot be provided by other products. And upon this PaaS and SaaS service, so we have these three platforms. We have monitoring system, the user service system, and the cloud operation platform. So I start by introducing you the cloud self-service platform. So you can consider it as a layer upon the OpenStack. So maybe you can ask the question, why we need such a supplementary layers upon the OpenStack? For several reasons. First, the usability of the OpenStack UI is not as professional as the client asked. This is the reason why we should have this layer. Another is we believe that we need such a layer to support multiple cloud. So not only OpenStack, or not only one OpenStack instance, maybe several OpenStack instances. And not only OpenStack, maybe other private cloud, not only private cloud, but also public cloud to provide a hybrid or deliver hybrid cloud solutions. For example, here for TStack, we can support at the same time OpenStack as a private cloud and Tencent Cloud as a public cloud to provide you a hybrid one. Also, we can use TStack as a private one and Amazon Web Service, AWS, as a public one to provide you another hybrid cloud. And we provide some kinds of authentication, authorization in these layers to support or to use the Active Directory or LDAP servers from the users. We provide you also the multi-tenancy here in this level. Another one is the monitoring systems. I don't know whether you use the monitoring systems or the kilometers in OpenStack, but we believe that it's not enough. We need the monitoring not only for the infra layer, but also for the hardware layer, application layer, and cross layer. For all these reasons, so we develop ourselves some such kinds of totally different monitoring systems. it is capable to monitor different layers. Vertically, we can monitor different layers from hardware to application, and horizontally, we can monitor several data centers at the same time. So here is a monitoring system, a global monitoring system, which can catch all the information from any data centers which use OpenStack TStack. The cloud operating platform, and I don't know whether you've already manipulate or administrate the cloud infrastructure, the data centers internally. It's very complicated. And each time, the support seems to be very important. Currently, the mode is not that. The current mode for OpenStack is the manual support. Means that if I have some programs, I call the support teams to send somebody and to troubleshoot, to do some analysis about the system. Also, we believe that we need to automate this part. How to automate this part? So what we do is we provide this operational management system so that operationally we have a in parallel separated system which can monitor and analyze and troubleshoot all the programs of the data center and try to resolve this problem. And once we resolve this program, so we create a script to automate these steps. So later, next time, for the same program, we launch this script instead of sending the people directly to the data center. So now I just try to introduce you the core product, several core products of the TStack. So our core product or core modules of the TStack. I started by computing, so the most standard part of cloud computing is the computing part. In fact, in the computing part, we have several layers. We call it the cluster layer and the cloud controller. One cloud controller can control several cluster controller, and each cluster controller can control several virtual machine or several physical machine. In order to provide these kinds of hierarchy architectures to ensure at the same time the efficiency and the scalability. Just a moment. Okay. And the second part is the storage part. As you may know, for the storage part, usually we have two kinds of storage architecture. We call it a centralized storage and distributed storage. For the centralized storage, usually is the standard or legacy FCSAN. Means that we have a physical FCSAN servers with the dedicated switch to support a centralized storage of the data. This is one solution, and usually with our clients, they have their legacy infrastructure of storage like this. So here, firstly, we support FCSAN. Secondly, as Ceph is a distributed architecture, means that we have distributed servers, storage servers, to provide a unified, manageable storage system. And for this Ceph, we also provide the drivers to integrate the Ceph storage with TStack. I will not go to details, but if you have questions, you can ask, or you can ask at the end. So you may know, for the network, it may be the most difficult part of a cloud platform. And so someone can use, for example, the Nova as the network controller for their OpenStack. We can also use SDN controllers. We call it two solutions. We call it hardware-based or software-based SDN controllers. Hardware-based SDN controllers means that, okay, we have a switch which support, we have many switches which support OpenFlow, for example, the SDN protocols. And then the controller can control this physical switch to deliver the network. Another solution we call it is the software-based SDN controller. So we don't really have the dedicated switch. We use a standard switch or legacy switch. And later, in each virtual machine or in each hypervisors, we use the open-based switch, or generally we call it a virtual switch. And this virtual switch can support the OpenFlow protocol. So each time the SDN controller can control or can pilot these virtual switches in order to deliver or to customize network resources. And here, we can support all these three solutions. So this means that at the same time, the Nova network, the software-based SD controller, and the hardware-based SD controller. Also, I forgot another very important thing here is that based on these networks, we can also provide some higher level value-added services like the AVPN, the DNS, the DHCP, etc. So, okay, now I go to the upper layer, the PaaS layers. So one of the advantages of TStack is that it natively integrate a large set of the PaaS services, which is very rich here. You can see the portfolios, like the database, big data, and machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc. So what we deliver is not just a IaaS platform. We consider it more as a PaaS platform. So this means that when we deliver TStack, we deliver also some kinds of development environment through which user can use these PaaS services to construct or to build their applications or their services. And how to construct such kinds of PaaS ecosystems. So here, what we do is we use a microservice. Means that TStack itself is based on the microservice architecture. All their modules are Dockerized into containers. What we are running, the whole TStack is the platform which is running up on the Kubernetes. So you can easily scale out and scale down. And then for the other PaaS services, it's also delivered in the format of the Dockers. So you can easily download a new Dockers for a new PaaS services, and you can easily integrate new PaaS services into a platform. Integrate, install, deploy your PaaS services into the platform. Here, what I can explain you first is, firstly, what I can explain you is that for the microservice architecture, we divided it into 3 layers. We call it the container virtualization layers. And the second is the orchestration layers, means that the Kubernetes. And later is the application service deployment layers. So upon the Kubernetes, we develop and deploy our PaaS services. And then later, once we construct these systems, and we also provide some kinds of external service integration gateways, means that you can, the internal service or application upon TStack can use some external services, maybe hosted in the public cloud or maybe hosted in another private cloud. We provide you also the gateway connections in order to improve such kinds of interoperability between different platforms. So here is the catalog of the database services that we can provide you. The standard MySQL, all the no relational database or the big data systems. Especially, I just present you here an internal data center or database systems we call the TD Circle. TD Circle is an internal database used internally in Tencent to support large-scale database services. So we have massive experience about the TD Circle database. And what we can say is that now in most of the very important services, like the financial services for Tencent, they use TD Circle. And Oracle, of course, most of our clients ask the question whether you can integrate Oracle services, because I don't know whether you can understand. Oracle server is so different from others. The virtualization of Oracle is not easy. And so here we have a solution, we call it the backup or the triple and double server solutions for Oracle. So in this case, Oracle are running in the virtual machine, but in guaranteeing almost the same performance as the Oracle database in a physical machine. So here, another service, it's a service that we use usually internally, the code management system, we call it B. repository platform. It's the internal development platform that we use for all developers inside Tencent, and we try to publish it as a PaaS service for our client. So the advantage of this B platform is that, firstly, here you can see, First, you can see that we have unlimited capacities of code for this platform and a large number of users to support for this code system. Internally, we have more than 30,000 developers internally in Tencent. So it's a platform can support more than 30,000 developers at the same time. Here is just a list of the certificates that we got. Okay, so now I go to another very important topic. So when we have such kinds of cloud management system, we were always asked whether this platform can support different technologies. Whether this platform is heterogeneous to support different technologies, different virtualization technologies, and different versions, etc. Here, the solution is that, okay, in terms of the virtualization technologies, it can support at the same time than the KVM or the VMware ESX hypervisors. And later, for OpenStack, it can support multiple versions of OpenStack. And we can, because internally in the TStack product, we developed a supplementary abstraction layers we call it Venice. These are abstraction layers that can provide a unique interface for the upon applications and provide the compatibility to different versions of OpenStacks and different other cloud services like AWS and VMware. The hybrid cloud management solutions. So hybrid cloud means at the same time we should support the private and the public cloud. So how to do this? So the solution we provided here is that inside of our TStack, we develop a set or a pair of gateways. It's a level 2 gateways. And we plug these gateways to the public cloud. For example, in the Tencent public cloud, we have also another gateways. Through these gateways, we can set up a large level 2 network. And all the data can be natively migrated from one side of the gateway to another side of the gateway. This ensures the data sharing between private and the public cloud. So, okay, now I will go to the second part, the delivery mode of the TStack product. So once you'd like to use OpenStack, once you'd like to use TStack, how we deliver TStack to our clients. We have 3 modes to deliver the on-premise one, the backstones, and the Tencent public VPC. On-premise one is a standard private cloud mode. So it means that, okay, we go to the data center of our clients and we install the whole platforms for our clients. I will detail how we install and deploy the whole product later. The second, we call it Blackstone. Blackstone is an offer provided by Tencent to deliver the bare metal servers to our clients. So once we provide these parameters, then we install a TStack upon these parameters to provide a solution, a complete TStack or OpenStack platform. The third mode is that within the public cloud of Tencent, we construct we call it VPC, virtual private cloud. And inside this VPC, we install and deploy OpenStack TStack. These are the 3 principal modes of delivery to our clients. And then how we install or how we deploy TStack. So we use Ansible to automate all these steps. Means that through Ansible, we can deploy all the components automatically. And now with the last version of installers of TStack, for a scale of about 100 physical servers, the deployment can be done within 1 day. When I talk about deployment, it means that installation of the operating systems, installation of all the modules of TStack, initialization of the data, and doing the test. Okay, so maybe you can ask the question, okay, for a customer, we have already our IT systems. So how I can migrate the whole IT system into the cloud, especially into TStack. So here is just a detailed procedure of how to do this work. Like firstly, we should analyze the applications, and then we should enable which other part we can virtualize, how we can virtualize, and then we have the standard operating systems, configuration files, evaluations, etc. And then we have a business view to check the state of the servers, and we do the migration at the end. So here we also develop internally a whole procedure or criteria to analyze customers' application or customers' IT system in order to adapt customers' IT system into TStack. And different roles, we call it duty separation to do these migrations. The duty separation means that we have the product managers which will lead the migrations or the installation of TStack, and then we have the solution architect, which will firstly provide solutions about how to do these migrations. Later, we have 3 levels. Very important thing is first we have the product team, which can design the solution about these migrations, adaptations of cloud. And then we have the operation teams, which can do we call it the second line operation centers. And later, we have the product team, which can do the expertise support for technical support. Okay. So the third part is the operational excellence of TStack. Okay, so globally, when we think about TStack, we try to understand how it makes OpenStack different from other OpenStack platforms. So one of the very important things I like to mention here is about the gray release. This is something that you cannot find otherwise. What's the meaning of great release? It means that, okay, for Tencent, for the application that Tencent runs, like WeChat, we have a huge set of users. Which can, for example, now we have more than 1 billion users of WeChat. So we cannot deploy or put on service the whole WeChat at the same time. How we do this work? We call it a green release. Means that we started by a subset of users to ensure the stability of the service and to ensure the quality of service for the service that we put it. And then we enlarge the number of users in order to ensure the smoothly migration or smoothly upon service. Oh, and here is the massive operations. We talk about the 4 layers of operation experience here. I think we don't have enough time, so I try to go quickly for the presentations. But if you want to have more details about this part, you can ask me later. So, okay, here just principal steps, main steps of our put on production. So we started by development environment and test environment, and here this part, the pre-publishing environment, is the green release that I talked about, and this means smoothly we put all our service online, and at the end we put all the total service on production. Several kinds of monitoring tools. We have also the 3D tools, monitoring tools that we can provide. This is in the part of monitoring systems or platforms. And it integrates at the same time real-time alarm and also some kinds of hierarchy report that we can provide or we can build at the end. So, okay, this is, we call it 1, 2, 3 service operation hierarchy. Means that, okay, some kinds of service operations as service technical supporting systems. So at the beginning, we have the online here. We have the online operations, one first line operations. If the first line operation cannot resolve some standard programs, they go to the second line operations. And the second line operation usually is our supporting teams, which can to resolve all your technical problems. And exceptionally, if you have also some very critical problem you cannot resolve, and we will go back to our product team, that the development team who develops the whole TStack product, and we can resolve your programs. We can ensure that if you have some problem you cannot resolve it on site, we can send also our expert to the customer. Okay, at the end, just several successful stories about TStack. Which are the users now, what clients are now using TStack? Okay, some governments which host large-scale data centers in China, and internally our business solutions, and some big clients like the big clients are like the Tencent IT cloud itself, or the supercomputing centers of Guangzhou. Okay, so I try to repeat it again here, just how we can ensure at the same time the hybrid cloud solutions. So we have internally, we have our TStack, which support the hosting of several resources. For the private cloud, we have a Tencent public cloud, and then we have a unified interface which can manage at the same time the public and the private cloud. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, you can ask it now.
So I actually have two questions. First question is, how many of the changes that you've made to make TStack have you pushed back upstream to the OpenStack community?
Right, this is a good question. What I can say that, okay, we have made a lot of improvement for the standard OpenStack, and now we just switched to a new version of OpenStack called the Pike release of OpenStack. Once we finish the switch, we will try to upstream these patches or this improvement to the community.
Okay, because that was kind of leading to my second question, which was how much time does it take to integrate, like, because OpenStack has its own development track. How much time does it take to take all of those changes and rebase all the changes made for TStack onto the new code?
Yes, because we don't follow all the release of OpenStack. So we just select some major release. For example, the latest release that we use is Pike. And usually you can see Pike starts from October of last year. So, and now we try to put Pike online. It takes about more than 8 months to do this work.
Right.
But with the microservice architecture, it will be shorter.
Okay.
So what we use here is the microservice Helm and Kolla images. So it will be shorter for the next release.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, okay.
I have a question. Out of my curiosity, so how many engineers currently are operating TStack?
Operating TStack in
Correct.
total? Okay, yeah. More than 200 engineers together.
So in the, I think in your slide, it's the second line.
I mean in total.
In total, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your attention, and that's all. Thank you.